Hey, look. Yeah, this Big Prime the General, representing Raleigh, North Carolina. And I got my homeboy Shorty Low, representing Atlanta, Georgia, riding with me on the beat. Let's go, let's get em.
Yeah, I got my trappin' drawz on. I got my trappin' drawz on. My trappin' drawz on. I got my trappin' drawz on. My trappin' drawz on. I got my trappin' drawz on. I've been in the trap for weeks. I ain't even took a break. I got my trappin' drawz on. I got my trappin' drawz on. My trappin' drawz on. I got my trappin' drawz on. My trappin' drawz on. I got my trappin' drawz on. I've been in the trap for weeks. I ain't even took a break.
Man, I'm a worldwide hustler, international player. I keep it trappin' and pimpin' and heavyweight on the scale. Still, I'm drinking milk to spit up my swallow krills. If you ain't never been on the block, you won't understand. After your money is flowing and your pockets is heavy, that's when you can worry about putting 28s on your Chevy. Cause people be trying to flash and don't even got a stab. When they up in desperate need, they is out of gas. Ain't wearing no clean gold when trapping up on the block. I'm gon' narrow it down, maybe you in Raleigh, that's prime spot. I'm good with flipping dough and cooking something on the stove. I'm armed, I got my hammer, I bag it and let it go. Trapping is in my genes, I'm not talking about trapping draw. I'm talking about up in my blood, my family is hustler. Trapping draws are draws you want for 3 or 4 days in a row. You'll take a bath after your pocket.
I got my trapping drawz on. I got my trapping drawz on. My trapping drawz on. I got my trapping drawz on. My trapping drawz on. I got my trapping drawz on. I've been in the trap for weeks. I ain't even took a break.
I got my trap shoes, my 8 feet. What you done? I'm done did it. I'm done done. I'm done one. I'm sound like a pin. I'm done one. I'm a trap star. You can ask her. I'm the biggest boss that you seen thus far. If I catch you on Bankhead after dark, it's like you're swimming in the ocean with the shark. Drunk Kakalaki, I ride for the Saki. On the highway, doing a whole lot of traffic. 50 in the trunk, drop them off like a taxi. Everybody eating, so the whole team happy.
I got my trapping drawz on. I got my trapping drawz on. My trapping drawz on. I got my trapping drawz on. My trapping drawz on. I got my trapping drawz on. I've been in the trap for weeks. I ain't even took a break.
When that shipment come in, I'm not using no handheld. I'm using something you will have to step on the way yourself. I'm getting money and keeping it separated from family. Cause when your clients come into where your people lay, that's deadly. Yeah, prime, I know the game, you gotta start out at the bottom. Cause chasing behind a dollar is when them people come knocking. It's cool to be in clubs with models and bottles popping, but when you rock on the bottom, ain't nobody gon' be calling. Trapping up in the hood, you living just for the moment. Your lifestyle revolves, rubbers, drugs, and money. You up in the trap, get your trapping on. You wear your trapping draws, you wear your trapping draws. When you're making moves, don't tell nobody. When you're making moves, don't tell nobody. Trapping draws, trapping draws. When I'm up in the trap, I wear my trapping draws.
Yeah, I got my trapping drawz on. I got my trapping drawz on. My trapping drawz on. I got my trapping drawz on. My trapping drawz on. I got my trapping drawz on. I've been in the trap for weeks. I ain't even took a break. I got my trapping drawz on. I got my trapping drawz on. My trapping drawz on. I got my trapping drawz on. My trapping drawz on. I got my trapping drawz on. I've been in the trap for weeks. I ain't even took a break.
My homeboy, Mike Will on the beat. Yeah, we connected from Raleigh to Bankhead.